Welcome back, guys. We're in person again. You can see
Finally.
our faces.
It's been so long.
It really has, actually.
It's been 2 weeks.
3, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's okay. No, it's been a minute for us as well, because of all the weird weather on the weekends, which you couldn't tell is when we record these generally.
Mm-hmm.
But, I guess having time off was fun, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're back. You can see us, or maybe you're listening audio only anyway. I don't know. Don't tell us. That's gonna crush my soul. Anyway, welcome back to Seasonal Spiels. I'm Quincy.
I'm Audrey.
We love a certain show.
One Piece.
But we also cover other anime.
Delicious in Dungeon.
Apothecary Diaries.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Soul Leveling. We like to spiel.
Exactly.
Covering seasonal anime, this is Seasonal Spiels. So, this episode, continuing, our talk with the same 4 anime as we've been doing, but again, with our faces this time.
Yeah.
So, hopefully a little good video quality happening. But starting with JJK.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this was a stellar episode.
It was really good.
This is, what peak JJK MAPPA animation can do.
Yeah.
Because, I feel like what they do very well is they extend the choreography, or they extend the fight period, but especially with good choreography and, fluid movements that you would expect, or, maybe you wouldn't picture initially when just flipping through manga and reading the panel, but they make it feel like it was a natural decision and a natural choreography that character would make, which just makes sense.
Yeah.
Obviously some people, complain, just with the, oh no, Yuji didn't throw the car. Honestly, I haven't read the manga in forever, so I didn't realize that, so props to them to show that, hey, unless you're an avid fan who wants the manga, one-to-one adaptation, it was still a good fight anyway.
Yeah.
And I would say the same for this episode.
Mm-hmm. People truly will complain for JJK about anything. It's you're getting...
I do too.
No, that's fair. But it's at least art style-wise, complaining about... Or art style and, animation-wise, complaining about that seems insane to me. Because I'm you're truly getting,
nitty pit, really
you're
nitty-gritty.
really nitpicking, but also, it's some of the best, not to say it's the best thing ever, but it's
it's
up there.
It's also,
there's truly a lot of dedication and work and effort put into it. So
I was about to say the same thing. I was about to say there's passion.
There's passion behind
it. You can tell when something is actually well thought out and to be a good adaptation versus just money.
Yeah,
cranking it out. And this, MAPPA is probably the one biggest studio that you can identify as, they are putting everything, all hands on deck.
Yeah,
for these episodes, which I think is stellar. They really just let Megami farm this episode.
Which it's so funny.
It's so funny.
The intro, beginning where he's it's actually really cool because I don't think we see him do this up until now, where he's moving it through people's shadows.
He hasn't.
I don't think he's done that.
I think it's
before.
something he's realized after trying to do a domain expansion. That's my assumption. It's ever since he tried to do his domain expansion, he's kind of become closer to understanding how his ability works. Not like Black Flash, kind of Black Flash helps you understand your own curse energy. I would say technique is obviously the pinnacle of your technique is your domain expansion.
Right.
So I feel by trying to create that, he's understood the inner workings of his technique better.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. But it's just funny seeing him. It's really cool seeing him do it, but also there's a shot of him he comes up through this guy's shadow that's on the phone.
I know,
and he's just lurking behind him. It's really
horror
cool.
movie.
Yeah.
Really, they were really pulling out all the stops on making him farm against these chumps.
Yeah.
It was great. I will say, even against Kirara, this is nothing against Megami because he's done this in the past with other fights. This is more so, I feel the one weakness JJK has for a mass audience and not a rabid fan base. A rabid fan base will consume anything. Those are your people. That's the niche you've created. But for the general populace, myself included, because yes, I'm in touch with it, but probably just as much as any average person who's kept up with it. Not an actual dedicated fan, I would say, not One Piece or Hunter x Hunter level. Let's put it that. Let me get my cards all in order, just to clarify.
Yeah.
The one weakness, and this is actually something ironically Hunter x Hunter falls into, is too much complication and not enough time of expanding upon it. And let me clarify.
Okay.
This is in regards to techniques.
Yeah.
The more complicated and complex a power system and techniques for JJK, the better better executed it can be between not only other characters and showing their own personalities through their powers, but also just the interactions in fights and how one fight can scale one way just because someone has a better understanding of their own technique, even if it's not actually more powerful.
Yeah.
So, caveat being, hey, unless you explain every single intricacy, no one's gonna understand what's happening. And I feel like that's the one fault you could say about these fights, is like, it can get a little... It's cool to see, like, Megami, like, kind of figure it out.
Piece it together.
Obviously kind of guess with the Southern Cross. The constellation I didn't know about, because I'm not that big into constellations. But at the same time, it's like, well, the fact that you have to explain all this is a bit of detriment. I say a detriment because I feel like, except for the fact that they really want you to know every single bit of Kirada's technique, you don't have to explain all of it to make it understandable for the fight.
I agree with that.
But because she's gonna be an ally, come on, she's going to be.
Right.
Hikari's listening now.
I mean, they were going in with
we were going in expecting that. Come on. And so, like, but because she's an ally, you want to make sure that the audience, hey, you're gonna see this technique more, and she's gonna be a good guy, so you want to be looking out for if she can use it well. We gotta explain everything. And so it's not, like, a true detriment. Like, I don't mean detriment in the fact that, like, this is gonna bog down the show, but it might bother people.
That's fair. I think that it's been a minute since I watched it, but I feel like the way that they... Because the way that they explain it is they have Megami piece it together through, like you have that moment of him, like, throwing his rabbit, which is really funny, but, like, he's trying to figure... Like, he figures out the constellation that it's based off of, and then him and Panda are trying to piece together, like, what is, like, which parts of the constellation are attracted to which, or, like, what repels what. And it's, like... I think once it gets... Because honestly, before they start, like, trying to figure out, okay, what repels, what attracts... Like, before that, I feel like I was following along pretty well. But then they, like, mix it in with the action well enough to where I'm like, okay, I get what's going on. And then they start explaining that part of it, and I'm like... Hold on.
Yes.
I think, but also, like, it is what you're saying of, like, where I don't think you necessarily need to know, like, specifically which stars are, like, doing what. I mean, you do, but, like...
For them, you do.
But I think it's when they're... Because I think what what they're trying to do... Because I kind of forget. Isn't it that they're trying... Like, Kirara is going... They're all going towards the door.
Yes.
And they're trying to figure out... how, like, what condition needs to be met in order to stop Kirara from, like...
Both stopping Kirara to get to the door, but also letting them get to the door at the same time.
Okay. Yeah. Like, I feel like you can know that, but we don't have to spend, like, 2 minutes, like, figuring out, okay, which, you know...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was executed perfectly.
It was fine.
Nothing about execution. This is more like, this is not an adaptation thing, this is a JJK thing.
This is something that, like... Or anime doing it.
Exactly. It's just, like, something where an intricate power system, the more intricate you get, the more you have to explain, the more convoluted it can become.
Yeah.
And it becomes a cycle. And I only say this as someone who's a fan of Hunter x Hunter and has seen its downfalls as well when it does this. People don't like reading. Granted, that's not... that's fair. But, you know, like, also dub, but, you know, still. No one wants to just hear all these explanations and have to, like, process them.
Yeah.
Frankly, having it actually in words is easier to understand because I can breeze through
then
it.
You get,
And then I could be like, wait a second, they're still talking, let me reread that real quick. Whereas if it's audio only, I have to, like, what? I would have to rewind. But anyway, the more you have to explain something, the more frustrating it gets if you don't stick to your own explanations, right? If you have taken the time to explain A, B, C, D, and that is how it is, that is the order, that is just a fact, then suddenly going B, A, C, D, no one's gonna like that.
Yeah.
And so this is something I feel like JJK is gonna have trouble with. This is only because, again, read it once, I did not fully digest it, but I've read the very end of the JJK manga. And so I'm well aware of why people complained about that, even, like overall, not, like, super in-depth, but I understood, I agreed with some of the points they were making at the time. No spoilers, obviously, right here. But the point is, I know that can be a potential pitfall, and that it kind of happens later. Not fully, but it does happen a bit where they stop, where explanations stop happening, because they assume, oh, you understand why everything's going on, but then you kind of almost see Gege break their own rule.
Oh.
In a way.
Okay.
But that's way further down the line.
Yeah.
Right now, going in blind with the Cullen game, I'm hoping for explanations. Don't get me wrong. I do like learning about even Kirada's ability is really cool. And it really, like, explaining it shows how well they use it, as well as how good Megami is, obviously, because he's figuring it out. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want them to explain every power we get introduced to. Not the first encounter. I think it works for Kirada because she's going to be an ally. I don't want that to happen to people, even whether they're going to be allies or not. But for the people in the Cullen game who have either been, reincarnated, old
or brought back.
No, like the old soul. I can't talk. Old sorcerers. being reincarnated into the modern day bodies of other people,
right.
or normal people who suddenly have techniques, because, you know, again, either or. Those people, ally or not, we don't know.
Yeah.
We're going in hoping for allies, going in expecting battles with enemies, that kind of stuff. I don't want them to fully explain every single one, because it takes away not only the mystique, but it also just front loads everything with information and then expects you to remember it throughout the rest of the fight when it stops explaining it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? This is just something I'm concerned with, not really a big problem in this episode or in the past. I just feel like we're getting into the place where, hey, we don't have the luxury of being able to sit and, like, have multiple battles to figure out with one curse what their technique is, because we fought them so many times.
Yeah,
we're not gonna have...
You want to feel, like, the way that the characters are feeling about, like, having to face up. Or, not exactly the same, but, like, you want to... Like what you're saying, like, with Kirara it works because she's an ally, but, like, with, like, potential... Maybe not even enemies, like you were saying, but, like, just with anybody else that we're facing off against that we don't know the outcome of, like, the battle yet... We don't need to know every single thing, because the characters don't know it either.
Exactly. Yeah. And even if a character does, if it's only one out of our group, I don't want to be in that one. Like, even if it's Yuta, even if it's, like, the best of the best and it's just 1v10, I don't care. The whole point is that you go in expecting not to know and have to figure it out along the way. Whether that's good or bad. And so I want to be in that place. Yeah. And we were in a good place, I feel like, with Kirara. Except for the fact that Megami, again, has a greater understanding of the world than we do. Because he's an actual sorcerer and none of us are. Yeah. So, like, I guess this is just an overall, like, me explaining my concern for the future. And how, hopefully, the Culling game doesn't become just a bunch of explanations and fights. Yeah. Like in the same depth as we got in this one. I loved it in this one. It worked for this one. I think it's great. Just don't constantly do it, because otherwise it might bog it up. Yeah. But again, these are, like, just things I've noticed in-depth power system. Like, you don't see this in One Piece. They just punch hard. Yeah, that's true. I had to think about it. I was like, yeah. There's nothing that overly complicated there. Moving on, though. Was there anything else? Oh, Hikari versus Yuji at the end. Yes! I say versus, but it's not. It's just Hikari pummeling Yuji for about 5 minutes. But I love it. But it's really good. It's so good. Especially Yuji's, like, I'm just a cog speech. Right? It's really, like... depressing. It is depressing. Like, seeing, because, I mean, we got a little bit... I mean, just Yuji in general, like, we got a little bit of him being happy last episode where, last episode where, like, he... goes into that fighting ring and, like, he sees that it's Panda, and then, like, later on when he goes through more of the, like, people who've entered the tournament, he's, like, dancing and stuff. Right. Like, it's not... But then, like, this speech... This isn't a complaint or anything, it's just, like, Yuji's character, like... In the beginning of the story, he was such a happy little guy, and now he's so depressed, which it makes sense, like, the development, but also just hearing him lay out to Hikari, hey... Because it's interesting, he lays it out, like... I'm just a tool that these people need at the end of the day to get rid of this, like, greater evil. But you still see, like, he's like, that shot of, like, his eye blazing or whatever. He's, like, still very determined to do it and carry it out, but he, like, recognizes now. I mean, he recognized it before, but it seems like it started, like, the closer that we get to, like, entering the Culling game and, like, the end of the story, so to speak, it's, like, interesting to see it, like, really set in for him. It's almost become more real now, I guess is what I mean to say. So not that it wasn't real before, but it's like saying. He's, like, genuinely, he feels, like, closer to the end now than he did. I would agree with that consensus. However, the reason I find it depressing isn't the fact that he's, like, understood that, hey, I'm, you know, just someone in a mass of people trying to do the right thing. I think what's depressing is the fact that he's really dissociating from himself. Yeah, that's by saying, hey, I've, like, you can tell the trauma of, like, basically feeling like he murdered, you know, thousands by letting Sukuna run wild in Shibuya. Having that guilt has really affected him, because instead of remaining autonomous and, like, hey, I know I'm not, like, you know, super, like, you know, Sukuna inside me isn't the greatest, but I'm going to do my best to help with my friends and help these people. He's still trying to meet the same end goal, but now he has almost removed his own autonomy from the equation. And saying, hey, you use me as a tool until you have to put me down. Yeah. Which is just depressing. It is. It's so depressing. It's like, I get why. And it reflects it perfectly, but it's still so sad to see that he is trying his best to push through, but at the same time kind of undermined his own worth in the process. which makes sense because it feels like its worth is nothing, but just really sad. The only other thing I want to say this episode is I really like the quick shot of Sumiki.
Yeah, me too.
It was so... it hit everywhere where it needed to hit. It was so good.
Yeah. I saw somebody else point this out, but, like, that shot where, because it's, like, her pointing at the, what's it called? The constellation?
The Southern Cross?
Yeah, she's pointing at the Southern Cross and, like, hey, look at this! And, like, somebody else pointed this out, but, like, the shot doesn't stray from her at all, like, implying that, like, Megumi's just staring at her, which is really sweet. I don't know, it was cute.
I thought it was cute because he almost moves from, like, looking at the stars to just staring at her explaining it, and I like that he doesn't remember at all what the star looks like. All he remembers is her explaining it, and I'm like,
it's so sweet.
That's like such a good representation of memory as well. Like what you choose to remember is never what happened. Like, objectively,
right?
Which is why testimonies in court go wild. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of how I felt. Yeah. This was just a really good. This was like the peak of what JJK can and should be able to do. I shouldn't say should. That's a little mean, but like MAPPA has set up their standards. Yeah. So like anyway, moving on. Frieren. So how do I put this? This isn't like I'll explain, but this is probably the most realistic date I've seen in anime. Take this with a grain of salt. I don't watch romance anime often, and as we all know with the majority of romance anime, they are very cliche. If they have a date, it is not realistic. Or if it is, man, that's like the 1% of the population getting that treatment. Or if it's a bad date, hopefully no one gets that treatment. But anyway, so like, take that with a grain of salt. However, when I say realistic, I don't mean the best date I've seen in anime. Because best is not always what we get in real life, right? Yeah. So, like, and it's not a bad thing. I actually really loved it. But I think the reason I say realistic is because this whole time you're watching, as an outside in, you're watching Fern and Stark go on this date. And you see Fern be as excited as she can visibly show herself and anticipatory because she's put on this cute dress and these cute little Mary Janes. And it's just so different from her usual outfit. And Stark shows up in his regular clothes, which, like, fair enough. Man, I'm pretty sure neither of them have been on a date, and like they've grown closer and seemingly have crushes like on each other based on what we can tell. Of course, they still travel as a group with Frieren, so obviously not fully romantic thoughts, right? But you can see them edging beyond platonic, and this episode really showcases that very well, especially for Fern, especially because what I really like and what makes this realistic and unrealistic at the same time is what's realistic is how they both go, like, mindset-wise into the date. So Stark is like, hey, I asked her as a joke, but she legitimately agreed, and I feel like he meant to tease her with like, oh, we can go on a date, and she's like, sure. And he was like, oh, I didn't mean. Oops. I walked into that. And so like, yeah, he messed up, but he also realizes, hey, I can't just suddenly shirk that responsibility. And it wasn't like a tease, and like, it was obviously like a little mean-hearted, but not like in a way of like, he wasn't actually being like, I would never date you kind of vibe, right? Like, it was just very clearly he was trying to get back at her for her messing with him. So like, and it just went not the way he expected. So following up on that, he goes and asks Frieren, which we saw in the previous episode, hey, what do I do for this date? Like, I have no idea where to start. Like, I know Fern, but at the same time, I don't. And I feel like that's very familiar for most people. Like, we're like, oh, what do we do planning for this date? Movie? Dinner? Like, what do they like? Like, you don't know, and that's the whole point, is you're trying to figure out what they like. And so Frieren shows him all the places in the town that she thinks Fern would like, go get some snacks, maybe look at this jewelry, and then end up here, like, with this nice view of the hot springs in the town, which is great and all. And he ends up doing this. Obviously, Fern isn't fully on board, and he makes many vocal mistakes in how he phrases things, which is very typical for like a teenage guy, or even just a teenager period, regardless of gender. If you're not in tune with like being on dates and like actually thinking of this person romantically, it's very common, I feel like, to kind of just disregard what they have put forward. Like, she's wearing this cute outfit, he's like, oh, you changed your clothes. Yeah, maybe take a hint on why. Right. So, like, obviously, he's not fully thinking that way. And that's fine. That's pretty typical. And even though you can tell throughout the date, because of these small little comments, she's a little disappointed. Especially because she keeps saying, hey, we're just talking about Frieren. As if we have no other similarity or commonality. And at the end, she admits it wasn't a bad day, but it didn't feel like him. And he then, in turn, comes clean and says, yeah, this is stuff Frieren picked out because I wanted it to be good for you. That authenticity feels like a date to me. Someone coming in with high expectations, and someone else coming in with just, like, the hope that, hey, I'm putting forward everything I can, regardless of whether I thought of it, so you enjoy the day. And I feel like in most anime, it would be like, oh, she had a blast, it worked out. Yeah. No, and you wouldn't think about this. But the point is, she loves these things, but it doesn't matter because what she really wants is the authentic experience with him and him being genuine, regardless of whether he knows it or not. But just the fact that they would be genuine in their date is kind of what I took from that, and which I really appreciated. It's slightly unrealistic because most couples, especially starting out, would never vocalize this and communicate well about this, but it's an anime, it's a story, that's kind of the point.
That's where the fantasy comes in.
Is where the fantasy comes in. I mean, obviously, if someone did that in real life, that'd be a perfect way to, like, vocalize, hey, I tried this way, do we want to, like, maybe going forward for a second date, etc. And they are good friends, you know, so it's not like they aren't well aware of each other, but just, you know, in a date setting, clearly not the best. But it's fine, it was a good first date. I guess I just overall I feel like it was really well done, and obviously also just to clarify in the, like, what I said last episode about like the pacing problem, obviously it's fixed because now you have the second half of the story. Basically what happened is last episode was the first half, the prep, and then the actual date happened. Okay. Because what Frieren has had the problem of adapting, I assume, is probably 1.5 chapters worth of content. And, you know, that's not one full episode, so usually you have, like, 2 stories per episode, and this one just happened to be split awkwardly between 2 episodes, rather than taking up a full episode by itself. So, pacing problem resolved. But speaking of the second half of the episode, I do really appreciate, like, the message they're kind of, at least from what I took, they're portraying in the second half. So, you know, they come across dangerous monsters, and starts well, it's like it's actually a problem. It's actually they have to, like, rework how they do teamwork because it's smarter than the previous monsters they faced as a team, and so they have to, like, try new strategies and figure out, okay, well, how do we help one another, who's going to take it out, that kind of thing. And at the end of the battle, it's a really close one, like, genuinely. It's no one got fatally hurt, but it was to the point where, like, if you didn't have an experienced person like Frieren, very easily could have happened for Stark and Fern. And so Stark's like, hey, why didn't we just take go the route by the sea instead of, I know you wanted to come on land, but it's really dangerous. And obviously Frieren thinks back to when, you know, the same question was asked to Himmel, and she even said what Stark's saying now, like, hey, we should have taken the sea if it was going to be this tough. Take the short, easy route. But obviously the goat, Himmel, says, but, like, the reason they're taking the land route is because no one else is doing it, because other people's homes are here in danger. And if he set out to protect his own home, why not protect others on the way? And that's a beautiful message, because to me, it's like saying, hey, I might not be able to do everything, right? I'm going to go on the path I choose, but the good thing is that the path I choose can actually have good benefits to other people, regardless of whether I'm successful, hopefully successful. But especially so, if I am successful, it can help more than just myself. Like, the consequences could be good. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's kind of what I was taking from that, aside from the general, aw, sweet, you want to protect other people's homes. Like, obviously, duh. That's kind of the point of fighting against an army against, you know, like, you would assume.
You would hope so.
You would hope so. If you're fighting demons, it's to protect the humans. Yeah. Just saying. For this story in particular. But I thought it was a nice message about facing adversity and how overcoming it can give other people benefits, not just yourself. So, yeah. On to Medalist. So, guys, this episode's made me realize I think my memory is terrible for Medalist.
Oh no.
Well, see, the problem is I read however many, I think it was like 9 volumes were out at the time. So when the anime first aired last year, I just read all of them.
Oh, I see.
I read all the way through, and then I haven't touched it since. And then I've read each new volume as it came out, 10, 11, 12. So what I've realized through this episode is, for the past few episodes of our podcast, I've realized my error. I have been saying correct things, just not on the right timeline. I think what has happened is I've mushed this competition and the next together in my brain with the training arc in between, because they're kind of like the same saga, if you will, of Inori's growth and everything before. Can't say future stuff, spoilers, but if you know, you know. Before that, like, kind of shifts gears and goes. I don't want to say anything spoilery, but if you know, you know. This episode, basically, we got Yuna's backstory. It was only one person who was going to get the spotlight before Inori. My bad. I was mushing out someone else's backstory that we're going to get in the next competition. My bad. Spoilers, I guess. So Yuna's the last one, and I really love how well this episode really adapted it. I think it's because what this episode has shown me is that this studio is doing a really good job of 3D, 2D for this ice skating. Because people can complain and be like, oh my gosh, Yuri on Ice did it so much better for 2D. I'm like, yeah, but did you know what the frick was happening? No.
Yeah, if you like... Yeah. I mean, like, it's well animated. I don't want to say it's not.
Yeah.
But, like, with Medalist, it's very much easier to tell what's happening. Whereas, like, when they're skating, or when they're... Because, like, the announcers will have, like... Or they'll say, like, what they're doing, specifically in the animation. You're just like, hey, you jumped.
But, like, Medalist is really showing that very clearly. And what's even better is they're showing all the movement on the ice, which is literally figure skating, if you ever watched it. Speaking of which, if you're watching it right now for the Olympics and you want more, watch Medalist. That sounded like an ad. We're not sponsored, unfortunately, but just my pure recommendation. And, you know, it's just fun to watch figure skating. Anyway, but I do appreciate what they're doing. Also, the song for Yuna actually fit. Now, I don't mean this in a bad way, like the song last episode wasn't. It's just, it's funny to listen to one song knowing you're watching 4 different routines at the same time and not hearing a different song. Right. Which I get. You don't want to splice it when you're doing quick shots between 4 girls at the same time in their routine, as if it's like happening simultaneously. So I get it. It's just, it was funny. As someone just very conscientious of that choice. Again, it was probably the best choice you could have made. I don't know how else you would splice 4 different songs and cut between them. Yeah. Be really weird. Be an awkward sound. So I really like the focus on Yuna's performance. I love how long we spend on her performance too. I also really appreciate how much they show not only her struggle to catch up to Hikaru, but also to show that, hey, just because I'm behind her doesn't mean I've fallen. Like, I am still here, and I'm going to do just as well. And the fact that she lands the triple Let's Loop combo that only Hikaru can, and they say, oh, another prodigy has arrived. I both hate and love that line, because obviously, yes, that's how everyone views a child who can do something really well in a sport. You're a prodigy. Whether you put effort in or not, that's pretty good that you can do that. I like how it's not genius. The reason I say it's bad, though, is because it's just another way to compare Yuna to Hikaru, which obviously she's not, like... What's nice is she's very mature about it. Like, she's frustrated, of course, because she's, you know, now, like, there's this chasm of experience and, like, talent that are between them, even though she's doing her best to keep up and try and surpass her. But at the same time, it's like, she's very mature in the fact that she's not thinking, oh, I wish I was the prodigy. No, she's just thinking, I wish I had the skill to be able to be in the spot she was in, because I have this admiration for my coach, and, you know, Hikaru comes in and kind of steals a little bit of that. Yeah. Not literally. Like, her coach doesn't favor her, but at the same time, she does get special treatment, so I can see why a kid would be like, special treatment. Right. That's my coach. So I get it. Like, if you know, you know. But, I say you know, because the not special treatment is more spoilery. Yeah. Depending on how spoilery for now, because it shouldn't come this season, or if it does, don't rely on my memory, I guess, is what I'm getting at. But as of right now, it's not in the anime, so I'm not going to say anything about it. Anyway. So, it sets up at the end for Inori's performance because she's next. And this is... Okay. So, I guess I really can't remember if this is my favorite published or not, because I keep mixing it up with the next one. Fair. I think it's the fact that these are the best competitions. I don't want to say, like, in a mean way we're going to get in a while, but it's the most well fleshed out ones where you get to see multiple competitors rather than just, like, the heavy hitters. Yeah. Whereas in future competitions, I get why you're gonna get just some heavy hitters. I get why. Still a little bummy. Hopefully in future, when we get more seasons / the movie, I guess, but further than the movie, when we get more seasons and stuff, hopefully, what I'm hoping is this Studio Enki, is it? I think so. Anyway, the studio I couldn't tell you. Studio adapting this. I hope they extend what we don't see, but also I can understand, hey, I don't want to animate that, don't want to put money into that, so we're gonna skip it just like the manga did. I get it. Yeah. Would be nice, but that's way future down the line. Anyway, getting off topic, I digress. So we're teed up for Inori's performance. If there's anything out there I can say, and let's say you watch season 1, you're like, oh, I don't have access to it. Believe me, you can find a way. Please catch up and watch this next episode, because next episode is Inori's performance. It's Inori's introduction to the world, because she is now at the same playing field as every other girl her age. And we're about to see, can she stack up to that? Is she gonna get gold? Is she gonna beat Yuna, who's in first place right now? What's she gonna do? Is she gonna get, if not gold, is she gonna make it in the top 5 to be able to move on to All Japan's? Right. I know, but I'm excited to find out. Because I'm just excited to see the performance, because it's one thing to read it. It's a lot better to watch the ice skating. And again, I don't think it's like the best one-to-one adaptation, obviously, because they cut some stuff out, dialogue and panels and stuff, which fair enough. And the art is really good in the manga too, so I would recommend it either way. But for figure skating, it's just obviously the real thing's gonna do better than on black and white on a page with no music and no visual. I shouldn't say no visual, they draw it, but it's like you're not actually drawing the skating. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, you're not gonna see a, bird's eye view of the ice rink.
Right.
That'd be really boring to read. So, like, they do, I don't remember the mangaka's name, but they do a fantastic job portraying it in the manga. However, it's like to where you can follow it and you can see, oh, this is beautiful, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, but this is still not a fleshed out performance. It's still not the real thing.
Right.
I specify real thing because I understand people can be like, oh, a fight, it's just as real in the manga. Yeah, but this is a sport that's taken from real life, where it's
not that you can't understand what's happening in the manga, but it is dependent on you being able to see what's happening in real time.
Exactly. You word that so perfectly. You summed it up so perfectly.
And, like, it's not that the manga is bad because it's not in real time. Like, obviously it isn't, but the adaptation, like, has that advantage over it a little bit.
Preach! Thank you. This is why we're co-hosts.
Even though I haven't watched it.
It's okay. But you understood what I was gonna... Thank you.
It's like, it's the same sport. I was gonna say, like, if Yuri on Ice had, like, a manga. But even, like, that anime also is animated in a way where, like, when they're skating, you can't... You don't get the depth. Right.
Yeah. So, if nothing else, please watch the next episode, because it is Inori's time to shine and show what she's got, and we want to root for her, I presume. Especially because Hikaru's not here. Like, oh, I get it. But it's also like, man, you're so good, you don't have to show up to... So it's a little like, you still want, Inori to make it to see Hikaru and fight in an actual competition. I say fight.
Fight, but yeah.
The typical sports fight. It's like Haikyuu, we're gonna fight. It's like...
We're gonna battle on the volleyball court.
We are. We're gonna throw hands.
Yeah.
Not the same thing, and these are kids, so we're definitely not doing that.
Right.
Also, they could very easily throw their skates and kill someone. So.
Yeah, true.
Not the same vibe. Moving
on. So our last one again is Stargaze. I think, like, I got to the end of the episode, but it's, like, the end of really the Mid-Valley fight. Okay. I got to that part of it, and I was like, I think I kind of don't like this season.
Ooh.
And that's, like, a little bit of a, maybe not a strong opinion, but, so I was telling Quincy this beforehand. I was gonna do anime homework, where I was gonna reread what I've gotten up to, like...
I probably should do that for Medalist at this point.
No, fair. I was gonna reread where I left off, or up until where I left off in Maximum, and then, not that I can one-to-one compare it to Stargaze, because it's not an adaptation, it's a retelling, but I wanted to see, like, my comparison was gonna be, okay, are they getting the same themes that Maximum is trying to explore across? And while I didn't succeed in that, because I got up to, like, the Mid-Valley versus... I can't even say that it happens this way in the manga, because I don't remember, but, like, the what they're basing this off of, I haven't reread yet, because I fell asleep.
That's real.
But what I can say about, like, Stargaze specifically, if we're not comparing it to Maximum at all, it kind of waters down both Wolfwood... Well, I can talk more about Wolfwood than I can about Mid-Valley, just because I remember more about him, but I feel like it waters down both of their, like, ideologies a little bit, where you have, like, essentially what happens is that Wolfwood goes after Mid-Valley, and they fight, but, like, throughout the entire fight, they're kind of, like, Mid-Valley is talking about Wolfwood being, because this season... So I kind of forgot about this, but this season starts out with Wolfwood no longer being under the eye of, like, that's how Stampede ends, is that he is, like, fully, like, not under the eye of Michael anymore, and so he's, like, more free to do what he wants than he was before, like, he's not under their control anymore. Gotcha. So what he does... Like, he doesn't have to do what they say in order to protect the orphanage anymore, essentially. And so Mid-Valley, because they used to, I say work together very loosely, they worked under the same guy, because they used to work together this entire fight, is Mid-Valley being like, oh, you've changed, you're on Vash's side now, like, you're... Before, like, his sort of mindset was... I have to, like, I am under these people's control, I have to do what they say in order to protect the orphanage, whether or not, like, I want to do it, whether or not I want to be, like, sort of their weapon, I have no choice, essentially, and so now that he doesn't have that anymore, this season, or this fight specifically, like, it's making it out to be, like, he's more of a pacifist than he was originally, you know, like, not going into fights, like, aiming to kill. Because this entire fight, like, he's not really aiming to kill Mid-Valley. He's aiming to stop him, which isn't... It's not a bad thing, and, like, Mid-Valley recognizes this the entire time, and then, like, the last, I don't know, however many minutes of the fight, is, like, Wolfwood trying to... This is the part that kind of loses me, is that it's Wolfwood trying to convince Mid-Valley that he doesn't have to work under knives anymore because he's free of them, so his, like, mindset is like, hey, you can just, like, not do this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I like it, because in the manga, like, what I reread of Maximum, I don't remember, because I didn't get that far, so I couldn't tell you if Wolfwood has this, like, not 180, but I couldn't tell you if he, like, ever starts to become more like Vash in the sense that he's not aiming to kill anymore, he's aiming to disarm, but he never has this, like, I don't know, it just, you see him struggle with it a lot, where, like, in the manga, he, like, you get that same thing where he very clearly doesn't want to be, like, under the eye of Michael like this, like, he doesn't, the thing that makes his ideology interesting and, like, or not comparing it, like, putting it up against Vash's ideology is that Vash very clearly, like, is a pacifist, does not want to kill, does not want others to be killed, but it's interesting because he is the only, well, not the only one, I guess Knives could, but he doesn't want to, so it doesn't matter. He's the only one that can uphold that type of pacifism because, like, he is built in a way where he can take hits for other people, and it does matter, but, like, it won't kill him. So, like, he can protect people like that without it being of consequence to him. But in the manga, Wolfwood doesn't have that luxury, both because he's working as a gung-ho gun under Knives and also because he is a human, so, like, the decisions he makes matters more. Mm-hmm. And, like, you see him very clearly, like, I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but there's, like, a very clear moment where, like, him and Vash are, like, kind of at odds with each other a little bit over, like, both of their mindsets, and like, Vash calls him a coward for, like, it's not that he thinks, like, Wolfwood is a coward, but he's, like, Vash is, like, saying, like, you're kind of taking the easy way out a little bit by being, like, you have no choice, but also, like, you're suffering because you, like, have put yourself in that mindset, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's, like, I basically what I'm getting at is that you see him struggle with both, like, Vash's pacifism and his own idea of, like, hey, I have to kill to protect, like, the people at the orphanage, the people that I care about, and also I have to stay alive for them, so, like, I have no choice but to, like, if somebody is going for my life, I have to kill because I can't guarantee that they're not going to kill me if I don't. Mm-hmm. You see him struggle with that, and in Stargaze, in this fight with Mid-Valley, you don't get that. Like, it assumes that, and also in Stampede, you don't really get that. Like, it's just kind of a 180 where he's like, yeah, me and Vash are, like, the same. Not really.
I know what you mean.
It's like, yeah, or he's just
kind of adopting Vash's ideology in a way.
Right, and also, like, saying to Mid-Valley the same thing of, like, oh, hey, it's, like, you don't have to do this anymore. And it's, like, really weird.
Yeah, because that's his own...
I don't like it.
Yeah, it's almost like, it's really, it's the privilege, right? Like, it's like a rich person saying, oh, money's not important, to a poor person who needs money to buy food for their family. I'm pretty sure money's important.
Yeah.
It's the privilege perspective, for sure.
And then at the end of the, like, it ends with, this is also weird, the way that they defeat Mid-Valley is they turn, like, his weapon is, a saxophone. I think it's a Barry saxophone, but whatever. His weapon is a saxophone, and, like, him playing it, the sound is the weapon, so to speak. And so the way that they defeat him is that, like, I think they're still on the home ship for this battle, but it's, like, outside of it, it's not in it. And so what they do is they just, like, turn his sound against him, essentially, where they, like, have, I think, speakers outside or whatever, like, pick up the reverb, and it's like a microphone, like, feedback type of thing, and then they have him, like, hear it, I guess, to, like, they're turning his weapon against him, basically. But the way that they get that idea is from Lenif telling them that, because at the end, I guess what we're supposed to assume is that when they defeat him in episode 3, well, it's not said in that episode, but, like,
implied?
Yeah, I mean, like, because where else would he go also? But, like, anyway, it's implied that, Lenif is just, like, hanging out on the like, they just kind of have, like, they're keeping him contained and they have him handcuffed and everything, but, like, but the way that they get that idea is Lenif tells them that. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a little weird, because, like...
It's a bit interesting.
It's also, because it falls back into that trap of, like, they do that to Mid-Valley from, like, Lenif telling them that, and then, Vash shows up and, like, disarms him by shooting, the saxophone, I think. Then, like, he kind of continues, I guess, where Wolfwood left off in his, like, little speech where he's like, hey, I'll protect you against knives. And I'm like, and Mid-Valley is very clearly, like, moved by that and wants... well, he's just moved by it, like, he doesn't... It's implied that, like, he doesn't... I mean, even in the original, I don't think he loved working under knives, really. Like, he's a little bit similar to Wolfwood in the sense that he has, like... He feels as though he has no choice, but it's different because, like, Knives scouted him out differently, but, like, the combination of Vash saying, like, hey, I'll protect you against knives to Mid-Valley, and Mid-Valley very clearly, like, he cries about it. He's, like, very, like, clearly...
Touched?
Very touched by it, and then, like, that, and also Lenif giving them that information, even though they just fought and they defeated him, like, it's just weird. Like,
yeah.
When I did my anime homework, and when I reread some of Maximum, I actually did get to the Lenif fight. And looking back on how they do it in the anime, I don't know that I love that either, because it's not that it has to be the same thing. Like, my personal opinion is that it's cooler in the manga, because you have Lenif, like, puppeteering his puppets, and then, but he turns them against Vash, where he has them, like, appear as members, or as people on the ship that he's interacted with. But he has, like, it's a mixture of that, and also, like, he is puppeteering, like, actually the people, so, like, Vash can't tell who's real and who's not. And I think that's cool. They don't do that in the anime, which, like, that's whatever. But the point of it...
I guess it's a better representation of what's actually driving these characters.
And it also feels like it has more stakes than it does in the anime, because in the anime it's just, like, literal, like, little robot puppets.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like saying Doflamingo took control of the king, but instead of the king, it's Bon Clay. Not Bon Clay, obviously, because Bon chance the goat. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was a doppelganger the whole time. It's like, oh, well, then why were they upset about killing people? You know what I'm saying?
Like, it doesn't... Like, that... The point of that fight in the manga is to, like, create a real problem. Like, on it...
Create tension because you don't know who's friend, who's foe.
Right. And, like, I guess in the anime, he's trying to protect Jessica, sort of, because she's there, too. But
she's there, too!
She's around.
Sorry, the way you said that.
Also, well, she's, like, directly involved, because she is, like...
But it was so...
And she is there, yeah.
It was, like, so afterthought, like, oh, she's there. It's just
but,
so
like...
funny.
In the sense that she's not involved in the fight, but she's, like, on the sidelines, like, looking through the cameras, and, like, Vash will tell her, like, hey, like, okay, do this to the room or what. So she's, like, involved in it, but not really. So, like, yeah. But it, like, the point of it in the manga is to create that tension, and also it, like, shows not a whole lot, but it shows a little bit that, like, Vash clearly, like, cares about these people on the ship, and I feel like in the anime, like, it also doesn't give you that really at all. Like, you have Brad, you have Luita, you have Jessica, but you don't have, like, anybody else on the ship.
So I guess it kind of undermines Vash's morality.
Yeah. It makes it seem as though, like...
Kind of like, oh, it's just my friends I care
anime,
about.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, even in the anime, I don't remember if they show, like, a ton of other people on the ship. Or at least this season they don't, but I don't remember if they did that last season. But in this season, it's definitely, like... Hey Brad, hey Luita, hey Jessica, and that's kind of it. You don't see, like, him struggling with, like, obviously the threat is there of, like, he will, like, you know that other people are on the ship, but you don't see it, and so it kind of, like, doesn't feel like it matters, really. Like, you have them say, like, oh, he's gonna, like, we have to stop him in order to protect everybody else. Yeah. But it's the same with Mid-Valley, where it's, like, we have to stop him to protect everybody else, but you don't really see that, like,
the impact.
You don't see that Vash cares about anybody outside of those three. And it's not that he doesn't in the anime, but, like, you don't
get the opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
All that to say, I don't know.
Cautiously optimistic?
Yeah, I'm also, like, I think the thing that makes Trigun interesting is the moral dilemmas. It is like...
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's like, oh, I don't have to kill people to survive.
Right, it is like Vash's ideology against Wolfwood's ideology.
I guess it's kind of...
It's not the whole thing,
it's kind of facing
like
the privilege of pacifism against people whose lives are controlled by kill or be killed.
Yeah, by their own, like, mortality, essentially. It's cool.
Yeah, sounds cool.
And there's just kind of not that in this.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's very much sounding like what you said originally, like a watered-down version.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well then what is the... Because my thought process now is like, okay, we can change the ordering of events and stuff, and we can change who does what. We can make it a retelling of the story without it being like a one-to-one thing. But my question is, like, if we're not getting across the same messaging, then what is the point?
I think that's why people love the One Piece live action, is because it's not one-to-one, but it's giving you the same message and experience.
Right. And with
this is not doing
it's not doing that. And it also, like I think I said this last episode too, but it runs into the problem, like, Stampede was good. I liked Stampede. I'm not going to say that it was like a perfect retelling or anything. Yeah. But it doesn't fall into the problem of like, it's clearly retelling less than Stargaze is, because it's like 2 volumes of manga that it's based off of, versus Stargaze is like 13 or 14 is how long maximum is, I think. And obviously it's not one-to-one, but it runs into the issue of, like, we have to pick and choose what we're gonna, like,
showcase,
talk about, because we just have so much that we can't all fit it into 12 episodes.
That sucks.
And I'm like,
that's actually so interesting. Why are they doing so many?
I don't know. And also...
it's like Promised Neverland, where they...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not to keep... I'll make this the last thing, because I don't want to go on for too long about this. I already have. But, like, my other thing is that, like, because it's so short, because you don't, like, spend a whole lot of time with the characters really doing, like, or really interacting with each other before it's, like, immediate confrontation with the gung-ho guns and with knives. Mm-hmm. It's not that you don't care about them at all, but I think you care about them less than you would in the manga, because, like... Yeah. You don't, for lack of a better way to phrase it, you don't get them, like, goofing off a lot.
No, I get
you. Which, like, seems silly to say, but, like, it does matter. Like, it...
I guess the prime example, or prime comparison I would say, is like Harry Potter. Like, by doing one book per movie, you're losing out on a lot of those side characters, or like some really significant character development. Yeah. So yeah, I would agree with that. Mm-hmm.
Like, even, because season 1 you don't have Millie, who you have Roberto instead, who is a new character, but, like, in this season, you get, like, a good amount of them interacting, I would say, but I don't think, because Millie is introduced in this season, and because, like, in the manga, she was always there. It was never Roberto, it was that she was in...
So by replacing, you kind of cut out...
You cut out, like, her... Yeah.
Okay. I'm like... Well, I guess we'll see how it plays out. Yeah. I say we. I guess you'll see how it plays out.
I don't want to say that I'm, like, hate watching it at this point, but I'm like,
Hey, if you ever want to drop it, that's fine. It'll give us more time, I guess, to focus on other stuff. You can catch up on Medalist.
Yeah, true. No, I'm gonna see it through, but I'm like, who? Because last thing.
Yep,
last thing.
Sure.
Talking about watering down the characters, it's not even just the character interactions, it's that their personality. Well, okay, I mainly see it with Vash. His personality in the manga, like, in rereading a little bit of Maximum, I realized that, like, both Stampede and Stargaze kind of water down his personality a little bit, to the point, like, they take the pacifism aspect of his character, and it's not that they dial it up, it's that they make it to where he's so nice to everybody, to the point where it's not, like, annoying, but if we're comparing it to the manga, he's not always a nice guy, and it seems like in Stampede and in Stargaze, it's
kind of diluting the importance of being kind when it's used so easily.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to say it, actually. Because, like, in, obviously this doesn't happen because there's not time for it in Stampede or in Stargaze, but, like, in Maximum you get a lot of him and Wolfwood, like, traveling together, and because they're, like...
Montage time.
Yeah, and because their ideologies conflict with each other, they obviously get into arguments about that, but it's, like, also they're just, like, silly and stupid with each other, too, where, like, they'll bicker with each other, and, like, Vash is, like, not...
Nice?
Yeah, I guess for lack of a better way to say it, like, he's not, like, mean... He's not, like, cruel mean in the manga, I guess, but, like, he does...
Intend to hurt Wolfwood, I guess, a little bit?
No, well...
I guess I'm just trying... I'm trying to figure out
I don't want to call him a brat, but he kind of is.
I guess he's just letting immaturity lead in the conversation.
Yeah, like, I think I can compare, like, his personality in Maximum is, like, sort of, or I guess the impact of his personality in Maximum is, like, similar to Luffy, where you have him be, like, not, like, listen, okay, hear me out, hear me out. Luffy, like, as a character, is very impactful in the moments where he's more serious, or not more serious, but, like, when he is, like, promising to protect specific people.
Yes.
It is more, at least to me, it feels more impactful because he's, like, silly goofy 90% of the time.
Yeah,
and that 10% like hits so hard because it's like those moments where you realize, oh, this guy has like a lot more emotional intelligence than I gave him credit for, because we see him like goofing off so much. And in like Vash in Maximum is very similar to that, where it's not that like he's like a goofball so much of the time, but it's definitely more of the time than it is in the retelling, I guess is what I'm getting at. And so it doesn't,
I guess you don't have
hard in the retelling because he's just like a nice guy so much to the point where like it's not,
you lose the dichotomy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like not a 180, but it doesn't feel like,
it doesn't feel significant because you can't reach high highs without low lows.
Exactly. Yeah.
You need the balance.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up there.
Silly.
We're gonna wrap it up there because it's going on a little bit too long.
So I don't know.
It's okay.
I'm gonna keep watching, but
Hey, you don't have to promise anything.
No, I want to know.
Yeah, but
I'm not gonna say I'm gonna hate watch.
No,
that's
I know.
A little strong,
but I'm just saying, if there's ever a time where you're like, I'm good now.
Yeah.
Feel free. Like, it's not a huge commitment. Mm-hmm. It's only like a few more episodes to talk about anyway. Exactly. Because we're probably not going to get to cover all of them. But anyway, that'll be this episode. We'll continue talking about these 4 next episode as well. But spring break is going to be coming up around that, like, looking forward. So, hypothetically, I shouldn't say hypothetically, more likely than not, we're probably going to take a break that week and not have an episode drop. So just one break week should be in mind. Coming up on that a little bit in the future, probably like in the next couple episodes. But we're going to keep talking about spring anime until probably the middle of March. We'll look because of the One Piece live action, and we're looking into I'm sorry, this is winter anime. Oh, my brain. And we'll start looking into talking about maybe what we would like to watch for spring. I will also say we're not going to be able to talk barely at all about spring anime just because of the timeline of a semester and when anime drops. Because by the time anime starts airing in April, it's only a couple episodes out, and we're practically done with the semester anyway. So it's a little awkward timing, but that's for the future. Anyway, in other words, back with these 4 next episodes, so stay tuned. It's all good.